Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Jewel. I am going to be introducing my next project tutorial series that I am going to start on right now. And I'm going to show you what we are going to be creating. I have mentioned it in one of my last process shares, and that was the flip up journal one. And I have come up with a version of a lap book that is going to be my version, and it's going to have a 2-inch spine here, and then it has 2 spines here, and we're going to create a similar one. This is just basically a template that I made and we're going to start from scratch today and making one of these. Now this series is going to be obviously multiple parts because it's from beginning to end of creating this book. And I am going to be using junk. I want to make sure I'm recording here. Yeah, I'm recording. This is going to be my design team project for May for Junk with Steph. And the kits and papers I'm going to use 3 different papers, or 2 different paper kits and a music ephemera kit. So the names of the kits are, so you know what I'm going to be working with, is the Alluring papers. And here are a few. They're just beautiful. It's a rose and cream themed, and there's a variety of pages. I think there's 15. There's something in each. Beautiful, beautiful papers. So I'm going to be using that. Some of the papers from that. I'm going to be using some papers from the Enchantment kit. And this, as you can see, has also the roses in it, but I'm combining these 2 kits to go with a Stamperia, some Stamperia papers called Precious, which have some of the same colors in it, as you can see. So these are beautiful papers, and I'm going to be using some of these. So you can see how between the 2 papers, these are going to go beautifully. And also in the Stamperia papers, there are some music notes and things in it. So I'm also going to use, well, let me show you some more of these, of the Alluring. No, this is the Enchantment. You can see how pretty these papers are. There's a variety of those. So I'm going to be using some of those. These are just other papers that I pulled out that are going to go with it, and some ephemera, and we will go over that when we get closer to, if I can get these off of here, when it's time to put the papers in. Okay, so that's the Stamperia, and then because of the music paper, I'm pulling in Steph's music large ephemera kit, and here is just it's a very, very large kit, and these are some of the items. These are some pockets, as you can see. Here's a I've already come in and inked these, and I'm going to talk to you when we get to this part as we fill the journal what inks I've used, because I wanted it all to blend in with all the colors. So I'm using a variety of different inks. We will be. So you can see here's some more pockets. Here's an envelope, a coin envelope that is in there. Another one of these file folder types. Here's another envelope. So it's a really large kit. So I'm just going to show you some of the, as a variety of tags and different things. And this is all from that music kit. Also, she's got some neat tabs. I came in and did some inking. These are going to go in there somewhere, and some tickets. And there's tons and tons and tons. And I made this into going to be a little booklet. So these are smaller journaling cards. So we're going to be working with that kit as well. Oh, here's some more of some of the tags, journaling cards from the kit that I did ink these, but they're an antique vintage style. Here's some more from that music kit. So just a variety. And then these are some of the pieces from Stamperia that I will probably be using in there. So with that, we're gonna get started constructing this. So let me put this stuff aside, and we're going to get the size papers you're going to need. Now, I'm looking to see what did I do with my papers that I already cut. I've cut down, okay, here we go. Now, we're going to be using some scrapbook papers. We are going to be using some craft text, but this is not a necessity. You can double up on your papers. This is a fabric paper if you're not familiar with it, and you cannot rip it or anything, but it does cut well, and you can sew on it, you can ink it. You can die cut with this. I mean, it is a wonderful thing, and I've made quite a few journals with this as one of the bases. So I am going to be using that because this is going to be a semi-soft journal. It's not hardbound like my chipboard, so it makes it lighter because it is going to be so big. So that's why I chose to do this, the craft text. So that you can order off of Amazon, or you don't have to use this at all. You can use something else. You can use fabric if you want it completely soft. But the reason for that is I want there to be a visible spine. So like you would see in a hard book, as opposed to, you know, see, here's two more spines. So this basically, and you can see I use some other papers here, but this is, there's going to be 3 spines in this. A spine here, and a spine here. So let me show you how we're going to achieve that. So let me move the craft text, because we're going to need that. Now, for this, I went and got some of the cardstock papers that I am not going to use in projects. So I'm going to use these as the basis that we're going to put these together, and then we're going to glue that to the craft text. So what you're going to need, if you're going to follow along with me, you're going to need 2 pieces of cardstock that are 11.5 wide. So it will look like this, 11.5 inches wide, okay, and then 8.5 inches long. So that is going to be each panel of the book. So this is so this, if you were to undo this, this would be 11 inches here to the middle spine, so, or 11.5 inches to the middle spine. And as we put this together, you'll see what I mean. Okay, so we're going to have a spine in the middle of each one of these. And then, so there's going to be one on one side and one on the other. Let me fold this back out so you can see it. I know it's white, so it might be difficult to pick it up. So you can see there's an actual, this would be like a book right here. Then here's the middle spine, okay? And then here's another book over here. Okay, so it would lay flat like this if you were to look at the back of it, and then there's your spine. Okay, so that's why we're gonna need the number of pages we're gonna need. So you're gonna need 2 at that size. And then you're going to need 1 3-inch wide, or 2-inch wide, and this will be the width of the spine. Okay, because I'm going to put the white, I'm going to put the colored part, when we go to lay it, the printed part of the cardstock. I mean, if you have big sheets of white cardstock, that'd be fine. I'm going to have it down this way because we're going to ink this, and then we're going to lay more paper on the top of that. So I don't want to get ahead of myself because this is, you know, I want to explain it as clearly as possible. Okay, so this is the size your middle spine is going to be. So that would be here, but I want to double that up. So I'm going to need a 3.5 inch wide. And the reason for this being wider is because we're going to need this to glue to the other part. So as we get this together, you'll understand the method to this. And I mean, this took me 3 or 4 times to figure this out and make these templates and to try to do this. So we're doing this together, guys. Okay, so that's what we're gonna need. So let's get going. And I'm gonna keep this manila envelope here because I have an overhead light that ends up glaring off the glass here. All right, so let me pull my 2 pieces. Here's 11.5 inches wide by 8.5 inches long, and then here's another one. And so let me put those 2 there. I don't know why I did 4. I probably did 4 in case I mess up. Now we're going to score in the middle a 1 inch because this is going to be a 1 inch spine. So we've got a 1 inch spine, a 1 inch spine, and then a 2 inch spine. Okay, so we're going to need to do a 1 inch there. Let me grab my scoreboard. Or you can measure it and fold it. So I'm going to lay my paper this way. And I'm going to need to come in. Okay, but we want 11.5, so we need to be in the middle. Okay, so I want to make sure this is 11.5. Yes, let me get my scoring tool here. I like to use these styluses. I think I get a better score. Let me see if I have a different size here. Yeah, no, I'll use this side here. So the middle would be, well, if you're at the middle of this paper, let me see. I'm probably making this more complex than it needs to be. You need to find your middle point, and you're going to need 1 inch. So if it's 11.5, we are going to come in to the 5 to 6. Is that going to be right? Because I want 1 full inch. No, we want 5.5 to 6.5. And that will make 1 inch. So, oh my goodness, my brain. Okay, we have 11.5. Half of 11.5 is 5.25. Oh my gracious. So 5.25. So we need to score at 5.25 to 6.25. And that will give us, I don't think I'm doing this right. Hold on. 5.25 and 5.25. Yes. Okay. So that will give us a 5.25 inch book, basically. So our book, when you look at it from the front, it's going to be 5.25 by 8.25 or 8.5 inches. Okay, actually, I want this to go this way. Okay, and so we're gonna do another one, because I need to do one more, because we need 2. All right. 5.25 again, we're gonna score at 5.25 to the 6.25, or I should say 1 inch over. So you are gonna have 5 1/4 here and 5 1/4 here, and then the 1-inch spine. All right, so just gonna fold those. And we can move this. Okay, now we want to put this together. So it's going to look, and take your 2 pieces like this, but we're going to need that 2-inch spine in the middle. So this would be the 2-inch spine, but we have to secure that to the sides. And you're gonna need a tiny bit of room in between each so that you can bend that spine. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the larger piece and the smaller piece that we have for the spine, and I'm just going to eyeball it, and I'm going to glue these 2 together. So this piece, actually, I want it this way. Oh, here comes the trash truck, so the dogs might bark. I'm going to take the 2-inch piece, and I'm going to place it in the middle of, I think, what did I say? This was a 3-inch piece. And the reason for that I chose that is so I would be able to have 1/2 inch on, I left my glue top partially open last night when I left the, so we're going to be doubling up, but it will give us a 1/2 inch on each side to use as a hinge or to adhere it to the side sections. I hope I'm making myself clear, because this is a brand new project for me, and I laid in bed one night and I thought, you know what, I'm going to make a lap book, but I've never made one, and I'm going to do my version of a lap. I guess, I mean, you can call it a lap book. I don't know what you want to call it. I call it a 3-spine book. But I think that's pretty much what they're calling it. So now I'm just going to adhere some glue on each side here, and we're simply going to glue that spine to each side panel. And I'm going to eyeball about a 1/16 of an inch space. I hope you can see this. Right here. So then we will have a nice bend, you know, so when we go to, and I will take my score tool and go right down there so I'll get a good bend. So we're going to adhere the paper on the other side right here. So today I would say part 1 is the making of the cover. I don't know if we're going to get all the way through the cover, because at least we'll get it on the craft text. All right, let me give that a second. So if you were to flip this over, you can see here's your array of craft book papers or cardstock papers. And I'm just simply, I want to just take my score tool here. And let me just put a piece of craft text under this. And I'm just going to run it down here, right in the middle. So we can, it'll crease nicely for the spine. And again, down the other side. Okay, now, actually, these are going to bend. Let me see. No, this is going to be like this, because we're going to glue this down to the craft text. So I think I can move this, because I'm going to have the craft text on the paper, or on the table too. So we're going to need a bigger piece than that. And if it's not big enough, I may have to glue some pieces, yeah. Looks like I'm gonna have to glue some pieces. I don't have quite enough length. Now this came on a roll. So, and this is all I have left right here. So, that's okay. We can piece it together. But let me make sure that this is going to crease fine. Yes. So let's crease that side and then this side. So right now what you're getting is, let me show you this. Okay, spine, spine, spine. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and glue it to my craft text. Now this craft text was folded after I took it off the roll, so I'm gonna try to straighten it out a little bit. And usually what I do is I just take it up to the end of the table and I kind of run it, oops. You're gonna get a little glare for a second, guys. And run it on the edge of the table this way, and it kind of, I will do it on one side and then I'll do it on the other, and it kind of flattens it out for me. And how I don't know, one day I was just like, this is all round because it came off a tube, you know, it was all, it comes round when you buy the roll, I should say roll. It comes, that's a little better. That's gonna have to do. All right, now I want to glue this down. So I think what I'll do is I'll just start all the way at one end. And I don't know if this piece was cut evenly, because if it wasn't, we might have to cut a little bit off the bottom to make sure. It looks pretty, yeah. So I'm just going to, when you get your new roll, see I've cut on this, you won't have this problem, but I'm gonna have a little bit of a problem because, but what I'll do is I will end up just trimming off at the bottom. All right, so I'm gonna have to bring it up a little bit and lay it right there. Okay, now with that, I'm just going to start gluing it one section at a time. So I think I will start from the spine here. And then glue the front panel. Now I'm going to be sewing this, but if you're not going to be sewing yours around the whole edges, because you know we're going to be putting pattern paper on top of the craft text. It's going to be an interesting process. Let's just put it that way. All right, let me get this as close to the end as possible so I don't waste too much. Okay. If you have a brayer, I think that's what you call these, mine's full of goop. You can just take that over, or just take your bone folder and rub your bone folder over it. Okay, now we're ready to move on, so we'll glue this part. I want to let you guys know, if you're following along with this series, I started a giveaway yesterday, and the drawing is, I think, on May 21st, and it's for that cute last project we did together called the desk set with the matching journal. It's a loaded pocket desk set. It's as cute as can be. So if you haven't entered and you'd like to enter and possibly win that set, go ahead and watch that video and you'll see what you need to do to enter, which is just make a couple comments on some questions I have. And it helps me when I do these giveaways. Sometimes I ask for some input, and that's all you really have to do is be a subscriber and give me some input on my channel, so I know what you guys want to see in upcoming videos and things like that. But so watch that, and go ahead and enter if you haven't entered. Okay, and now we will continue gluing. And you know, I'm thinking you could do a variation of this as well. You could use any size spine you want. It doesn't have to be 2 inches. And the reason why I chose 2 inches is because this is going to be a good size book, and because I have a lot of papers I want to put in here. So this is going to be one of my larger projects I've done recently, I should say. All right, let me just get this down good. Now we are going to need some more here, so I'm going to need this piece. And let me look behind me. I might have one that's a little bit smaller that I cut before. Let me see. Nope, just I got a little tiny square, so I'll have to use this piece. And I think I'm gonna, no, Bree. Sorry, guys. Bree. Hey, guys. Shh. Oh, let me shut the door. Apologize. Oh, brother. Oh, it's the, oh, I don't know, some trucks out front. Oh, my. Never a dull moment in this house. So, I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to slightly overlap this, which I really don't want to do. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get this glued, and then I'm going to put this upside down so I can make sure that those two ends butt together. Now, this whole thing is going to be covered again, so that's why they can be in 2 pieces. So I'm going to flip it over. No, Bree. No, Bree. That's the Chihuahua. That's the squeaky one. And I think what I will do when we finish this part is I will cut this down off camera, and we will come back for part 2, and that is going to be to cover it, because until that truck moves out there, they're going to be noisy. So with that, guys, so we're not competing, I will see you for part 2. Thanks. Bye.